Yeah, it's already been done. We released it, and believe me, that's what I say. It's like 100 proof Voltron. Yeah, you Media Blast. We did the Go Line stuff. I love watching it just because it's like, wow, this is like Sesame Street directed by Quentin Tarantino. Like, oh my goodness, like what is this? Like, it's so funny. Like, you see the fates of characters that you never, had got to see like spend. Instead of like take me to a hospital, it's like full on death scene. So. Yeah.
Deep sleep.
Exactly. All of us. Yeah, exactly.
Like, dead.
Yeah. Oh, he's sleeping. Yeah. And then the best is that assassin when the Zarkon. Yeah. The one guy, the tanks or whatever, when they blow the guy, the ambassador up. And then in Voltron, it's like this long-winded explanation.
Yeah.
I made an android that looked like him, and then the people thought it was him, and he's a robot, Mom. Don't worry.
They're robots.
Yeah, they're all robots. They're all robots. We tried in the new series to really embrace like the organic versus mechanic. So we actually never say that like some of the Doom soldiers and things are robots. We kind of go that they are they're beasts and things like that. And that's one thing we're looking forward in future episodes to really play up. Is like that's something kind of unique to us, like rogue beasts, like putting tech with just beastly things, getting some fur on there. You know what I mean? Because that makes us different than Transformers and things, rather than two refrigerators punching each other in the face. And you have no idea, and a Mountain Dew can is fighting in there somewhere. Like, Voltron being like this, ancient yet advanced thing. So that's something we're really working on visually, aesthetic-wise. So, okay.
Can I get questions in?
Check. You got the last one.
Check that. Yeah, I still use it. It's easier for me.
Really? Cassettes are only $100 now. Yeah. Using a Polaroid and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Fashionable. All right.
Now that one thing that I've noticed with a lot of the Voltron revivals, like with Third Dimension and even the Devil's Due books, and to an extent maybe with this one, is we've kind of been going away sort of from the magical aspect of Voltron. I mean, when are we going to go back to that, like sort of the fantasy, like the fantastic elements go there, like Hagar, what's her deal? Is she, where did she come from? Is she Zarkon's mother, like in the Lion?
Sorcery. Yeah, very interesting. Are you recording our conversations in the writer's room? That's funny. To answer your question, a lot of that was indeed purposeful. In some ways too, where yes, Voltron it's like a tech magic, and we all know there's something like you can't replicate. Like in our new series, like Wade tries to replicate Voltron, but he's lacking the magic. I mean, they literally say that. So yeah, we have King Alfor in there. Yeah, we have Hungarian and the kind of witch essence and things in there. But a lot of that was purposeful for in the ways that some talking to kids and how they respond. Like kids today, it's funny, like a Harry Potter toy and things like, like Harry Potter 1, like it's hard to kind of get your head around like, oh, that sorcery thing. Whereas we wanted to take Voltron for us specifically and kind of do a little bit of like that Iron Man magic, where you kind of, like, I don't know what that thing does in his chest, but it's, it's tech magic and whatnot. So there was that purposeful side, and then to go against, but to answer your question, the bad guys are going to start using more kind of the dark side of that Hungarian thing. So that's what makes Voltron, right? It is Lord of the Rings meets Transformers in this crazy outer space world. So we fully embrace it, and are only going to more. And I can tell you in future episodes, much more. In a lot of ways, in the future episodes, we're looking at returning to kind of roots and kind of getting back. So we're listening to everything the fans say on the boards. I read it all, good, bad,
if I could piggyback off that. Are they going to get into what happened to Hagar, how she turned into Nebula, or is this just gonna get kind of whitewashed over? It was always
interesting crossroads right now where we could get into that, and I mean, as you know from reading on the forums and things like that, we really say the show in a lot of ways it kind of goes off Go Lion. I mean, like the end of 52 with kind of Lotor and Hagar having their like falling out, and then Spend and Lotor battle, and kind of that's where we sort of made our touching off point. And we like to say based on rather than exact, because there's so many things like Larmina and the niece factor. Like, wait a minute, how does Allura have a niece and things like that? That could be addressed in future episodes. So there you go.
So is it's the actual follow-up?
Yeah. Oh, great.
It's the actual follow-up to Go Lion where Zarkon died as the Roe Beast?
Yeah, that's the best way to kind of think about Voltron Force, is kind of think episode 52, season 1 of classic Voltron, skip over Voltron Third Dimension. No, there's a lot of ways.
Skip over what?
I know, did it happen? What? I don't know. There was one?
A couple of questions. Another question I have is, Are we gonna explain, how Hagar was so powerful that she broke up Voltron?
Yeah, I've always wondered about that too, right? The goddess factor thing.
I think she's the goddess's twin sister.
Goddess's twin sister. That's ridiculous, Todd. Let me write that down.
I'll give you a figure too.
Right.
But I figure, doing that to Voltron drained her of most of her power.
Todd Garfield, our story editor, has done such a great job of just taking this fresh look at things, and he worked, on Secret Saturdays and Penguins in Madagascar, which is crazy. He's made it funny, which is not something I normally would associate with Voltron, as we all remember the jokes from Hagar. I don't do windows. It's even when you're 6, you're like, oh, my grandpa's making these jokes, right? But he has taken that and really, as everybody saw in episode 13, where it was there was previous Voltron Force members before, this, and it kind of fits in. I mean, in the original series, they walk into the uniforms. What's Corray say? Good to see the uniforms back in action. So there's something that in future episodes I really want to kind of explore. Was there a Voltron Force Prime? What was the first Corran part of that? How does Alfor fit into all this? And I don't think you guys know this yet. I almost said a big spoiler, but the origins of Voltron are going to absolutely be explored, and it's going to be a very surprising collaboration. So,
Right.
yeah,
Well,
it's gonna get cool.
Corran was part of the Voltron Force apparently, in that in a recent episode
I
they
know,
said
he
was.
showed it, right?
Yeah.
Are we going to get into that? I don't know.
Final
Good.
question. Is Wade going to return, and is he going to bring out the vehicle force?
He, we might not have seen the last of Wade, but he will come back in an he's on trial. I mean, he's taken. Yeah, he's